Hello Year 4, just sending you this transition video to show you around Alameda in a little bit more detail and what is expected when you do arrive in September, and we are really looking forward to getting to know you and to meet you. Those of you that walk or will get the bus will come in via Station Road, and you'll come off the bus in the turning circle and make your way up the drive to Alameda. This is our entrance that the pupils can enter from 8 o'clock in the morning, and that is opened, so this is the way you come in. There is another entrance around the back off the Alameda walk, but that one isn't open till 8:20. Any parents or carers coming into school will need to come in, buzzed in through the gates, and they'll come into reception up this way. It is likely on our first day in September we will ask that Year 5 come into school, and it's likely we'll meet in the hall through these doors here. If this changes, and I'll give you more updates as we go throughout this summer term. If you require any medication or have any problems, you might need to phone home or what have you, then if you come to the main reception at this hatch, and you'll see these lovely friendly faces. If you have music lessons, this is where you store your musical instruments, and this is just the other side of the hall and opposite the canteen. You can come here, obviously, if you're hot dinners, and also at break time you can get tuck, where you line up along this wall here and round the corner to outside. Our tuck ranges from 50p up to about £1. So if you want some tuck, alternatively you can bring your own snack for break time as well. Just out from the canteen and the music room is where you'll find lost property. So if you lose anything, or if you find anything that isn't yours, if you come and pop it here in the right boxes, if it's named, it will come back to you, but if it isn't, you need to come and look for it. Here we have the PE changing rooms. Boys just there. And on here you'll find all our clubs that we do lunchtime and after school that are free, available to any of you. Some of them you do have to sign up because it's limited numbers, others you can just turn up. And then the girls' changing room. If you're doing PE out on the field, this is the gate we use. So you would line up here once you're changed for your register to be taken, and then you'll exit with your teacher through the gate and across. Also, if you have PE up at the sports hall, you line up at these green gates for your register, and you're taken out the same way up to the sports hall with your teacher. Walk up the Alameda walk to the sports hall. Back via the changing rooms, you can turn right here up to the huts. These classrooms up here, one of them is used for values, one of them is used for a mixture of geography, history, maths, and we also have this one, French. Background from the change rooms comes out onto the quad. Here's the PE office, and as you can see, this is our quad area. At the edge of this quad here, you can see from this sign, it says please queue here for lunch. Queue there, and that is where you will be let in round into the hall for your lunch. If you are packed lunch, when you are called up from the playground for lunch, you are able to sit in the quad and eat your lunch. Alternatively, you can also go into the hall. Currently, 2 of our Year 5 classrooms are just off the quad in this block here. Through those doors, the lockers, and then you can see one of the classrooms through that window there. Off the quad, we also have DT. In DT, we have what we call the tech toilets, the girls and the boys. These are the toilets that we ask Year 5 and 6 to use during break and lunch times. One of the benefits of coming to middle school is you get facilities like this. So this is our food room, where as Year 5 you will be doing a DT on a rota. as all our other year groups. Each term you'll do either cooking, textiles or resistant materials. You get a whole term of doing one of those each week. Both the IT suites are off the quad as well. Obviously some things do look a bit different because we've had to make arrangements for making sure social distancing is in place currently. This is one of the IT suites. When you come to us, you'll be given your login and shown how to access everything you need. Off the quad also is the Key Stage 2 Pastoral Leaders office. So this is where you'll find my office as Year 5 leader. So if you need me, come and knock on the door and most likely I'll be in there at some point. Just off the quad we also have a water fountain. It's a tap and you must fill up your bottle. When you have your bottles, please fill them up at break and lunch times rather than during form times or at lesson times. Coming round from the quad there, we come towards the main Year 5 block where all the A classrooms are. Into the A block, you can see locker areas here. There are some toilets in here, but they're only to be used possibly when you're here during lessons. You can see we have 4 classrooms in this area here. Okay, so up a few steps, we have A3, and then we have A4 as well. Down from the Year 5 block, coming to one of the main corridors, into the art and textiles area. You can see some of the amazing work of our current pupils, their grotesques. And you can see some other work in here, and you'll get to use this space on a weekly basis. Textiles. As I said before, this will be on your DT rota. So you can see again some of the lovely work that our pupils create during their textiles lesson. A corridor from art. We have couple of maths classrooms down here. This is classed as the B block. So you can see B1 and B2 classroom, and we also have one of the entrances to the science lab. This is lab 2, and obviously you'll be really lucky to come in here regularly doing practicals well as your theory for science. You can exit the bottom of this corridor through these doors, and as you can see you can get out onto the playground or you can go along round towards the front of school. Just come back up the B corridor, and I'm just coming along one of the main corridors here where we have one of the other science labs. If you're there you'll line up in the corridor here. One of the maths classrooms, obviously set up currently for our socially distancing return of Year 6. Continue down the corridor and we have another door that can go down towards the playground, as you can see. And then the main toilets. The girls on one side and the boys on the other. These ones you may use during lesson time, but as I said before, please use the tech toilets for break and lunch time. This brings you back round to the quad, or we can go round further, and this corridor leads you to a few other classrooms. We have the first aid room here. So if you're sent from a lesson, you'll have a slip, and this is where you come to a member of staff that will be in there and they obviously will help you. Here we have resources room, so where some photocopying things is done for you. And then we have our pastoral support team in here. This is where Mrs. Knight, our pastoral officer, will be. So if you need her, please knock on the door and she'll be in there as well, along with Mrs. Richardson, who mainly looks after our Key Stage 3 pupils, but does also do some work with some of our Key Stage 2, so Year 5 and 6 as well. This is a really nice, friendly place for you to come to. And then we have the finance office, where if you have any trip or event money and slips, these come into this box here. We also have the learning support office, where Miss Cannon is based. And then further along, we have the learning support room, where lots of different things happen in here. We have intervention groups, we have lunch clubs called caps that go on in here. And obviously it's being set up again for our social distancing, but if you might have one-to-ones with teaching assistants, they may happen in here also. Back onto the quad, and coming down off the quad is your main way to the playground. Go past Mrs. Fox's, our deputy head's office, down the path to the playground. You may also, when you come into school, come up this path once you have been into the playground. As you can see, there are yellow footprints that we ask you to follow. This is because this is the driveway. It does go up round the side of the school, and we do have parking spaces for visitors and people here as well that come into the school, delivery drivers, etc. So you must be really careful. They only do come in at certain times, but if they are there on lesson changeover times, please make sure you follow the yellow feet. Coming across into our F block, we have 6 classrooms over here that you may be in for a variety of different subjects, possibly English, history, French, geography. There's upstairs here, so we ask you to keep to the left going up and also keep to the left coming down. It's set out exactly the same upstairs as it is downstairs. You can see obviously there are other people's lockers in this area. We have another classroom here. This one is used for English. And we also have some toilet facilities over here as well, which you can use during lesson times only. We then have the playground. We do have some set rules for the playground. If you are playing with a ball, then we ask you to be on our second playground, which is nearer the Firs Lower School. The first playground, you can sit, chat, play other games with your friends, and we also have the AstroTurf as well, which we do on a rota for each year group. They all have their set days. We do limit the numbers to 20 on there, and you can line up if there's more than 20 at the gate ready for the next session. Off the quad we have the library. The library is open from 8 o'clock in the morning for you to come in if you're here early, open at break times and lunch times for some quiet reading, as well as it being used in our English lessons once a week. Here we have our sports hall over at Parkside. If you are brought to school in your car, this is where we ask parents, carers to park and drop you off. You come off the car park, through the gates and walk down the Alameda walk. It runs alongside our field down into school. This is the way you'll come up for PE when you're using the sports hall, but don't panic, you will always be with your PE teacher or another member of staff supervising you when you come up and come back to the school site as well. So when you walk down from Parkside, this is the entrance that you will come in. This entrance is open at 8:20, and you can see if you cycle to school, the blue torpedo shape things there are the bike racks where you can lock your bike up. Then you walk straight down the path and that leads you onto the quad. Here we have some models showing our PE kit. You can get all this from Prestige in Flitwick. There is the t-shirt, there's skirts, there's shorts, there's a hoodie, and there's a rugby top as well. When you come in September, you will be doing PE outside, so you will need those layers for you as well. You will need to make sure you have got some football boots. You may not need them straight away, but some groups will do. With your football socks as well, because you may be doing rugby or football, that you would need those for. This is an example of this year's planner. Each pupil will have a planner, obviously your name and form will go on the front, and this is where you write your homework or any communication that needs to come from home via school, etc. We've got homeschool agreements, we have our core four, so what you need: a reading book, your planner, a pencil case, and a positive attitude for your learning. There's also some helpline information, guidelines for school uniform, it also shows a week view, so you can see here we write our subject in this column, what your homework is, when it's due in, and you also have a tick box. We also use EduLink, so you can see it on an app that parents can see and you can see as students as well. You can see here there is a comment section. Please feel free to write any comments to your child's form tutor. Please sign it every single week, and your form tutor will also sign it as well. Towards the back of the planner we have the reading log. We expect students to be reading 20 minutes a day and to record them in their planner in their reading log. And then the green pages are for your merits, and we get different certificates for certain amounts of merits as well as early lunch passes, so you can get in that queue at the beginning of lunch rather than waiting for your allotted time. There is also in here a map of the school. Now, although I've gone through everything, it is a lot to take on board, and we understand that. Don't panic. We will go through everything with you when the time comes that we see you, and everyone is really helpful, from pupils to staff, in showing you where it is that you need to go. I really look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.